Hey everybody, Wayne here. In today's Let's Play, I'll be doing a playthrough of Iwo Jima, Hell on Earth, designed by Jose Manuel Neva and published by Neva Wargames. This is a solitaire wargame. You take command of the US Marines, invading and attempting to capture the island of Iwo Jima. The AI system handles the Japanese defenders. I'll give you guys an overview of how the game works, and then I'll dive into the playthrough. Alright, let's get out of the table.
Alright, let's do a quick overview before we dive into the playthrough itself. So you have the map all set up for an initial game. Japanese units are out on the board in locations that have this red square, and they show their hidden side. The unique thing about Japanese units is that the hidden side actually counts as a step. So they actually, when they take a hit, is when they're revealed. That does include things that can just sort of reveal them, but it counts as a step. So it's kind of a unique part of them. We have our American Marines here that have landed on the shores. Historically, it was a fairly unopposed landing. Japanese weren't sure whether the Americans were going to land on the west or the south, or slash east. I mean, I guess the eastern sector, southern sector, but this was more, they considered more the south of the island. But anyway, east-west beaches, what they were going to land on. So it was mostly unopposed. After the Americans landed, they started moving off the beach. That's when the Japanese really started hammering them and hammered the beaches as well, so it did limit resupply and reinforcements. The units are all set up on the various landing beaches, so it will be, the units will be American or regiment size. So we have the 4th and 5th Division, Marine divisions, with the various regiments, and then in reserve, we do have 3rd Division, 9th, and 21st regiments. Our units, looking on the units here, each one is 4 steps. So when it takes a hit, it'll move this way, and then it gets flipped over with the next hit. So now it's down to 2 steps, 1 step, and then removed. Uh-oh, we don't want that to happen. Japanese units have a total of 3 steps, including their hidden side. On a combat counter, on a combat unit, you can see that it has a, so I've talked about the unit mod, what division it is, what regiment it is, how many steps it has, and then regiment size for NATO. They're all shown as infantry, NATO symbology. You can see their combat strength, combat factor in the bottom left. It'll come when we get into combat. We determine the combat ratio, the number of movement points a unit has, and the combat strength goes down when they're on the reduced side. And then finally, this number on the right, and then the symbol in the bottom right. You can see more NATO symbology. Flamethrower, artillery, tank, those provide the combat support when you use combat support from that unit. You do not have to use it on the same. I'll explain when we get into actual combat once we have them, but basically when you have units that are conducting an assault combat, to 2 American units that can support an assault, and then, 2 American units that conduct the assault, and then up to 3, including the 2 involved, or not, or could be other ones, can provide their combat support in the bottom right. That, along with what the Japanese is, and then various modifiers like the Japanese defensive type it is, terrain, etc., that will determine the die roll modifier. You roll on the CRT for whatever we figured that combat ratio already. Then we check see where our die roll modifiers are. We're going to roll, and then we're going to conduct the combat. So starting off, kind of running through the phases real quick. You're going to roll for weather. That does affect movement and bombardment points. There's a bombardment phase for both sides. That is the abstracted way to determine the artillery, aircraft, naval. Obviously, Japanese didn't have naval guns, but depending on which side, right, their indirect fire on the opposing enemy. Then you have the first movement and then first attack phases. So for the Americans, you get a movement phase, attack phase. Japanese will conduct a raid phase, and then you get a second movement and attack phase. You get 2 separate activations. Then there'll be a command phase, where you can spend command points to try to reinforce your units that are on the map, bring in additional reinforcements, etc. And then be an organization phase involving determining, moving the marker, and then kind of wrapping it up, and then moving on to the next turn. When you see the phases down here, the phase track, there are if there's nothing listed, that is American only phase. If there is American and Japanese, then it's both of them, and you flip the marker for whoever side is acting. And then finally, for the raid phase, that is Japanese only. We'll be keeping track of our victory points in the bottom left here. Our goal over these 9 turns, so from February 19th, which was D-Day on Iwo Jima, to the end of turn 9, March 26th, we are trying to Earn victory points. How do we do that? Eliminate Japanese units, capture areas. For instance, Matsurabachi is worth a bonus victory point if captured within turns 1 through 3. Airfield number 1 here is worth a bonus victory point if captured within turns 1 through 4. So there's some timing on some of the areas you want to capture. Airfield number 2, capture within turns 1 through 5. You get the idea. Along the way, we are going to be, for hidden units that we interact with, we may be drawing hidden markers, intelligence markers, on them. I'll explain that when it happens. And then same thing with these, you see this command track in the bottom right here. Right now, that +2, that's for command points. So we actually get a bonus on that. It's this icon here. We'll get some of them later automatically. We can add onto the command track. You can spend 1 a turn to cash it in and use it for whatever it is. There's going to be also a bag. You can draw more. We spend those command points during the command phase to buy more if we want. Also, potentially, you'll have these intelligence errors that'll happen. Those will actually take up a spot on here. So eventually, assuming that you keep drawing them anyway, you could fill up your whole command area and you wouldn't be able to use them at all until you spend command points to get rid of them. Also, if you use too many of these, or you suffer too many American casualties, you suffer negatives on victory points. All right, makes sense? Good, it better. Okay, I think that's good enough. I think we can go ahead and get to the gameplay itself, and I'll explain everything in detail as we go. Let's do it. All right, it is turn 1, February 19th, 1945. Our American Marines have landed on the beaches with suffering only sporadic fire, and now they're about to suffer some bombardment from, well, Japanese. Well, although we technically get to go first. All right, so bombardment phase. U.S. goes first. What we do is we determine our amount of bombardment points. We start with a base of 9 points. Then for each of the airfields we've captured, airfield 1, airfield 2 over here, and then airfield, oh, no, you don't get any bonus for airfield number 3, I guess, because it was unfinished. That's right, historically it was unfinished at the time. We get a bonus of +2 for airfield 1 and +1 for airfield 2. The Japanese, it's going to be, their bombardment points are the number of fixed artillery positions, which are these yellow squares, or yellow hexes, yellow squares, yellow highlighted hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to start with. Let's do ours. So we have 9 bombardment points. Also, it would be less if the weather was poor, but it automatically starts as good weather for the first turn. So we'll be rolling on that next turn. All right, with 9 bombardment points, what we can do is, so we select a target, so we select the Japanese unit, and we can assign 1, 2, or 3 bombardment points. If we assign 1 bombardment point, we're going to roll the die with a -1 DRM. If we assign 2 bombardment points, we roll it with no DRM. And if we assign 3 bombardment points, we get +1 DRM. And then if you have a U.S. unit with artillery support, such as this 26th Regiment right here, on a Japanese fixed artillery location, right, so the yellow highlighted, or Matsurabachi, you get a +1. So basically, he provides additional spotting / support to your bombardment rolls. All right, so starting off, let's go ahead and I think I want to clear off the beaches, or at least make the units known, because we'll see, right? You'll see how it goes. So I think we have 9 bombardment points. I want to target each of these 3 Japanese units that are adjacent to our American units on the beaches. I'm going to spend 3 bombardment points on each, so that'll be all 9 of them. That gives us a +1 on our roll. And I'll go ahead and have the track pop up. So basically, we roll a 1d6, as everything does. By the way, these are not the dice that came with the game. The dice that came with the game are small. These are bigger ones. And I do have the Japanese Rising Sun flag on here. For the U.S. one, I do have a U.S. Army green die, but that's not right. It's blue, right? So unfortunately, you have to do a regular. So 6 is 6. For Japanese, their flag is 6. All right, so 1d6 with +1 DRM. This one, and this one here. So starting off with here. 5, ooh, it's almost just 3. So 5 + 1 becomes 6. A 6 is 1 hit. Beautiful. 1 hit, so as I explained in the overview, a hit reveals the unit. Basically, them being hidden counts as a unit, or counts as a step. So we reveal them, and we just look if we want to and see, okay, what is he? There's not going to be any immediate effect, but just we can now see he is a 2 strength unit. He has part of the 309th Battalion. He is defense type B, which is bunker, which will give him a -1 modifier when we do our DRMs during an assault. He is tank. He has tank support, combat support with a 1 strength. So not too bad. Kind of a medium strength unit, I would say, based on my experience playing this game now multiple times. All right, that was that one. By the way, if we roll a 6, we get a +1, so we get a 7. We get 2 hits on him, so hoping for 6, hoping for 6. All right, let's do this one and that one. So right here, that's boom. Hey, I asked for it, I got it, right? Now later on, you watch what happens. So we'll go ahead and reveal him with 1 hit. Actually, a fairly weak unit, and then we'll go ahead and reduce him down. So they only have 3 steps, including the hidden step. So now he only has 1 step left. That's all he has. And finally, right here. A 2 + 1 is 3. That should be nothing. Yep, anything less than a 5. So 4 or less is nothing. So he stays hidden. Ineffective bombardment. Pretty common in the Battle for Iwo Jima to have ineffective bombardment against the Japanese. Okay, so now it's the Japanese bombardment phase. So now they will bombard our units. So what they do is they have their, I mentioned they have their 8 bombardment points. And what they're going to do, they don't spend them like we do. What they do is they target each American unit, attempting to inflict a hit. And when they still control Mount Suribachi, which they do right now, and they will until we capture it, they will focus on the units that are closest and then work their way away. Once we've captured it, which we will, our Marines will capture it, then they look from the north and head south. All right, which again was historical. Okay, so they'll start with this unit. They're going to roll 1d6, check for if the only modifiers is if a target is in a landing beach with all of our units are in the landing beach's first turn, right? That's just weird. We haven't had a movement phase yet. They're going to get a +1 on their die roll. 5 or 6 is our hits. 7+ is a hit plus a potential disorganized retreat marker. But we will see about that. We won't worry about that. We're going to roll really low, right? So we want low. Let's start left, work our way right. By the way, what it'll be is 1. They'll spend 1 point on each. They have 8, right? So it's, well, there's 6 units, Wayne. What do they do? Any units that weren't hit the first time, they'll come back around and try to hit them a second time. But a unit can only be hit once. All right, let's start off. 28th. 5 + 1, that's a 6. That's a hit. So he does his not reduce. He's 1 step loss. 26th. A 1. That's a miss. I like to do is just put a little miss on there. I guess or a little icon. Suppose I don't need to because if he gets a hit, he gets a hit. That's also nothing happens. I suppose I don't need to right now. It's later on you'll want to. Trust me. All right, and then him. It's a 4. What is it? A 5 has to be hit. Yep. 24th Regiment. Also miss. Or ineffective, whatever you want to call it. And also ineffective. Oh, not too bad. Now you skip him, the 28th Regiment, because he already took a hit. So you start with the 26th, and they only have 2 points left, right? So 2 more units. So here. 3 is nothing. And stay low, stay low. Oh, 7. All right, so that is 2 hits. That's ridiculous. So he's actually flipped over to his reduced side. I can't believe that. And then, oh, I'm sorry, just 1 hit, but we are going to roll to see 1 hit, and then we roll to see if he gets a disorganized marker. Basically, roll this die again. If it's a 1, he gets a disorganized retreat. 6 is not. So actually, if it's low, would be bad on this particular time. So 6 is nothing happens. Whew. All right, so now we go ahead and move on to the first movement phase. And first movement and first attack, it's US. The Japanese only conduct raids, so we will be doing the moving and attacking. All right, so moving, it goes by movement points, right? Each unit has 6 to start with here, and then you are paying the terrain cost. There are zones of control, so this Japanese unit here extends zone of control, right? And all the squares around it. Same with him, same with him, same with him. You cannot move directly within a zone of control. You can leave and then come back in. Oh, except for on a beach, you are basically stuck. They consider it pinned down. So units in the landing zone, beach hexes, which are all of these, cannot move or retreat as long as they're in a zone of control. So what does I mean by that? So 28th, he's stuck because of him, his zone of control. 26th, he's stuck. 27th, he can move because he's not suffering his zone of control. He will be once he goes there, although that's off the landing beach. He's stuck in his zone of control. He is, and he is. So basically, nobody can move except the 27th. So for the 27th, let's go ahead and move him up. I'm not going to worry about the cost. Technically, it would be just 1, though, because we're moving up +1 to get off the beach as well. So technically, that would be, technically +1. So cost 2 to move into this open, clear terrain. And he will be stopped as he enters his zone of control, and he's just going to stay right there. Also, we got things lined up nicely for some assaults here is what I would say. So, okay. All right. And that's it for the movement phase, because we can't move anyone else, and that's all we got. So move right to first attack phase, and here we go. Let's go ahead and conduct some attacks. So during our attack phase, we get to, and by the way, I did skip over in the movement phase, but it doesn't matter because no one's afflicted by a retreat marker, either organized retreat or disorganized retreat. But if they were, you can do a rally roll to see if you can rally. No one has a retreat marker, so there's no worries. So we skipped that. Sorry, shouldn't have skipped it though. Should have explained it. All right, so now we're in our first attack phase. Now we can do reconnaissance and force or an assault. Reconnaissance and force is where we are targeting a hidden unit. We would have to be adjacent to them. So in this case, the only Japanese unit available for a reconnaissance and force is this one right here, which we probably will do. And then these two revealed units we conduct assaults on, and we probably will conduct assaults because, yeah, that's definitely what I'm thinking. So, all right, let's go ahead and do reconnaissance and force. Let's start off. The 25th Regiment here of the 4th Marine Division is going to conduct a reconnaissance and force against this hidden Japanese unit right here. So we go ahead and target that Japanese unit. Then we roll a die, and then we apply any DRMs for each additional US unit that does not have a retreat marker adjacent to it, up to a maximum of +2. You get to add a +1 DRM, which we have the 24th is adjacent. He's not doing anything special. He's just adjacent. Oh, geez. It's getting all crazy here. Now, what we do, so we don't forget, is we go ahead and mark. So this marker here, this situation marker, shows on one side, this is where a unit has done both, or has done either assault and or recon and provided combat support, or this side shows either they provided combat support or they did assault recon. Since our unit, the 25th, is just doing, actually it may have been the wrong, not the one I wanted to use for this. Actually it wasn't, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and, it doesn't matter, I guess, in this case. We're going to mark it like this. That shows that he's done his recon or assault, which in this case is reconnaissance and force, but he still has his combat support available. Once he uses his combat support, if he uses combat support, we would flip it over like this. All right. Reconnaissance and force against the hidden unit. We'll roll our 1d6 +1. And checking the chart here, we want, what do we want? What do we want? We want, well, we don't, thankfully we can't get a 1 because we have the +1 modifier, but we want at least a 5. That gives us a hit. 5. So we need to roll a 4 or higher. 5, 6, that's a hit. Reconnaissance and force with a hit on the Japanese unit. Roll, or excuse me, flip him over. Sorry, just checking my little cheat sheet here. Flip him over and reveal him. Beautiful. So looks like a decent strength unit to attack. B, that's for the bunker, -1 on the DRMs for his defense type. And he is artillery with 2 combat support. So not too bad of a unit. Not too bad at all. Okay. All right. So that was that one. That was the 25th. Now we have the rest of our units to do. So what we can do is, let's see, the 24th Regiment here. Do we want to try to conduct a full attack on him, or should we wait? I feel like we should wait, because if we do an assault and he provides combat support, they would basically negate that, but then he would have, the artillery would negate each other. He would have +2 for that, but then 4 combat strength versus 2. That's only 2 to 1. 2 to 1 with a +2, and they're fighting uphill with the tanks. That's a -1 actually, so 2 to 1 with a +1. And his type's beast, that's 2 to 1 with no bonuses. We have to roll at least a 5, at least a 4 to get a hit, and then we're likely to suffer our own hit. No, we're not going to do it. So not going to do any attacks with him, assault anyway. But here's what we are going to do. I think we can probably do an assault here, and then he'll provide combat support. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we are going to call an assault, and let's go ahead and do this unit right there. Just get this one out of the way. So we will have both the 27th here and the 23rd are going to conduct assaults. So that you can have 2 units conduct an assault together, so they'll be combining their combat strength against the 145th. Also, they're both going to be committing their combat support, which is to 2 strength tank and then unknown strength flamethrower. Basically what that is either going to be 1, or because we have a tank with, and his unit, actually his unit type is, what is it, B? It has to be K for it to be a 2. So never mind, it's only a +1. So it's +2 and +1 for them. And then for combat support, I think we want to go ahead and let's do artillery. Should we use them for that, or should we save them from over here? No, we'll do them right now as well. I think that's, well, no, because let's not do that. We'll save his artillery to help out over here. Yeah, okay, good. Let's do that. So it'll be just these 2 units involved for both assault and combat support. Okay, first you figure out your combat ratio, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, divided by 1 for the Japanese, so 8 to 1. Chart max is out at 6 to 1. I'll have it pop up on the screen. So maximum of 6 to 1. So it'll be 6 to 1 on the CRT. Now we figure our die roll modifiers. What we'd like to do is add up the Americans and then add up the Japanese and just kind of go from there. So for the Americans, we'll have 2 for this tank and then 1 for the flamethrower. It's a total of +3. The Japanese unit, he has no combat support. Oh, no, right there, Will. So we have to check that one. So what we're doing is we're generating a combat support from this hidden Japanese unit. They don't want to inflict a hit on him, right? Because that's part of his sort of abilities is that's a step. So what you're doing is you're drawing from the bag and you're assigning him a random one. Oh, no. This is brutal. All right, so he has anti-tank and tank. So what we'll do is for the anti-tank of 2, we check to see if he negates our tank support here, which he has a 2 strength. He has to roll a 2 or less. He's a 3, so no effect, thankfully. He does have a 2 strength tank, though, so it does provide a 2 strength. So what did I say we had? 2, 3, and then he has 2 for tank. So our +3, right, minus the 2, that becomes only a +1. B, defense is a bunker, that's -1. So now we're down to 0. And then our 23rd is attacking off the beach, which gives a -1 DRM for being below. So that's a -1 on the die roll. No flanking, nothing else. That's it. So we are at a total of -1. Jeez, brutal. Maybe I should have him help, huh? This artillery here. What do you guys think? Too late. We've committed. So -1 to the die roll. Hey, at least we're doing 6 to 1 odds, right? So 6 to 1 with a -1. Actually, as long as we don't get a 2, we're at least gonna actually, if we don't, as long as even with any roll, we're gonna eliminate them. I just don't want to suffer an attacker loss, right? So we need at least a 3. At least a 3. 4. Beautiful. So 4 minus 1 is 3. There you go. That is D1. So this defender, he takes a hit, which he only had 1 step left, so he is eliminated. So we'll place him over here near the victory point boxes. Once we have 2 units, that's 1 VP. Another 2, that's another, etc. So for every 2 Japanese eliminated, you get 1 VP. And we go ahead and remove this support marker and put it back in the bag for future use against us. All right, so now we know these have activated. He's activated. Now we have both of them can conduct, well, an assault, because a recon wouldn't work because he's not hidden. So they're going to do that. So let's go ahead and grab a couple situation markers. We're going to do full assault, and they'll do assault and provide their own combat support. And then I think we're going to do, because I don't want him attacking him alone. No, we don't want that. So he'll provide combat support here. So how does this work? First off, remember, we figure our combat ratio. So 4 plus 4 is 8 minus 2, so 4 to 1. 4 to 1 odds. A little better odds for them. Not good, though. And then we look at our die roll modifiers. We have flamethrower, which is +1 because we don't have a tank support and he's only B for bunker. So +1. Artillery, he's adjacent, so that's a +2, so total +3. And then this unit is artillery, but he's not adjacent. He's multiple steps away, so he only provides a +1 instead of the normal +2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total +5. Now we look at theirs. We are attacking uphill, so that +5 becomes a +4. They have a tank, so that our +4 becomes a +3. And he is in a bunker, which is -1, so that becomes a +2. And that's it. So +2, so 4 to 1 with a +2. And then 8, 4 to 1 with a +2. So an 8 is D2, so he suffers 2 hits, which is reduced and then eliminated. Boom, which that's 2 eliminated Japanese units, which gives us our first victory point of the game. First but not last. And then, oh man, I totally forgot over here too. So when you eliminate a unit, you can advance after combat, right? One of your attackers can. So here I wanted to do him because to get him off the beach. And then right here, we'll do our artillery. Yeah, artillery move up off the beach. Boom. Okay, beautiful. So now everyone's conducted an attack or recon except for the 24th. He's the only one left, 24th Regiment here of the 4th Marine Division. However, I wouldn't want him conducting an attack because it would be 2-to-1 odds. Let's see, 2. He would provide support as well. That'd be 4, -1 off the beach, -2 from that would be a +1. 2-to-1 with a +1? Yeah, I don't think so. We're not doing that. I think I already calculated that before. Maybe it would have been 0. No thanks. We're not doing that for sure. So that's it for first attack. All right, beautiful. So now we go to the raid phase. So for the raid phase, Japanese are going to conduct raid. What they're going to do is for each U.S. unit adjacent to a Japanese unit or 2 hexes away. So it should say within 2 hexes, but it's the way the rules are written. So basically that would be our 28th here because he's within 2. The 27th because he's within 2. 23rd is within 1. 24th and 25th. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, everyone except him. The 26th is the only one that doesn't get rated. Okay, what you do is you check to see who's closest. You roll with any die roll modifiers would be, so if there's 2+ units adjacent, which is nobody, they get a +1. If our guys are disorganized or have a retreat marker, any retreat marker on them, I should say, we get a +1 as well. Japanese get a +1. However, if the closest unit is 2 hexes away, it's a -1. 4 or higher are hits. 4 to 5 is a 1 hit. 6 is 2 hits. So for the 28th, he is 2 hexes away, so it's a -1. So we want them to roll a 4 or less. A 5 becomes a 4, which is a hit. So he's actually reduced. Come on, man. He's not close enough to anybody, so he is not rated, the 26th. Now the 27th Regiment right here, he's rated with a -1. A 3, that is no effect. Remember, we want them to roll 4s or lesses. The 23rd, he's adjacent, so no -1, so now it's just a straight die roll. 4, that's 1 hit. We wanted a 4 when it was a -1. Now we want a 3 or less. And same thing with these 2 units, the 24th and the 25th Regiments. Nothing. And nothing. Whew. Dodge that one. Okay, so not too bad. We suffered 2 hits. Not too bad. Okay, so that's it for the raid phase. So now we go to the second movement phase. We'll have a second movement phase and a second attack phase. All right, and I had forgot to remove the situation markers during the end of the last attack phase. My mistake. So before the raid phase, right? So the end of first attack and before raid, technically these should have been removed because now put them back out. But now we know our units are free to conduct whatever actions they feel appropriate. Here's what we're gonna do. We want Mount Suribachi. We want it for a couple of reasons. One, we want the victory point, and we want to get that artillery unit up there to provide additional support, right, for bombardments and everything else we talked about, right? So, all right, let's get them up there. So what we'll do is, let's do this. Let's activate the 27th, his movement. So you can move through U.S. units, but you have to keep moving. You can't stop there. So stacking is 1 unit. 1, because it's clear, into difficult terrain, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. And he has 6, right? So he used up all of his movement except 1, but he has to stop there because and that's where he wants to go anyway. And then let's do this. He will move 1, 2. Geez, I don't know do I want him over there? I don't think anyone else can make it though, can they? What could he do? Could he make it over there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess he could. Nah, we're sending him in anyway. 1, 2, 3, boom. Sending him in. I shouldn't do that. I should not be doing that. All right, anyway. And then he will go ahead and just move a little bit closer. He's going to stay where he is, locked in with him, and they're going to stay where they are because they just want to go ahead and, well, they can't move anyway because they're in a landing area. They're going to go ahead and try to kick his butt. So, movement's all done. Yep, that's it for movement phase. So we go to second attack phase. All right. First off, 23rd Regiment. He's going to conduct a recon of force. No modifiers, just going to roll. Try to reveal that Japanese unit. As long as he does not roll a... What is it? We don't want him to roll a... I'm trying to find the chart here. A 1. Oh, 2. Well, no effect, which is a bummer. I wanted 5 or higher. So no effect on that. So I'll mark him off as doing his con. And his flamethrower, unfortunately, is not going to help with that because he's not adjacent to any other units, but that's okay. Let's conduct assault right here. So these units, both American 24th and 25th regiments here, will conduct full assaults on the Japanese 145th Battalion and providing their own combat support. So, the combat ratio, 4 is 8, minus 2, 4 to 1. DRMs, artillery that's adjacent, that's 2. Tank that's adjacent, that's 2. However, we are going up a level, so that 2 becomes a 1. So that is a total of plus 3. And then he has a 2 artillery, so that plus 3 becomes just a plus 1. And because his defense type is B, so that's a minus 1, so we get to 0. And then we are attacking uphill. That's another minus 1. So we have a minus 1 on our die roll. 4 to 1 with a minus 1. That's a 3. 4 to 1. When you roll a 3, attacker 1, defender 1. So he is reduced 1. And then we possibly suffer a hit. So with 1 hit, we'll go ahead and roll a die. And then we check both the units have max steps. You'd assign them. So I would assign them and say, okay, I want the 24th here to take the hit. Now we roll and roll to see. Is it less than or equal to the number of hits received? And it is. So he hits a disorganized retreat marker on him, and then he retreats 2 hexes, which is very unfortunate. He will retreat 1, 2. So retreat over here along the beach, basically. If I had rolled, trying to think here, what am I thinking of? Having a little brain here, brain fart. If I had rolled higher than number hits, so say I'd rolled 2 or higher, then I could have, instead of taking the hits, I could have just retreated with an organized retreat, so the other side of the retreat marker. But we rolled the 1, and that's what it was. They took a hit, and we rolled a 1, so that's on us for rolling bad. So they took a hit, but we got to retreat. Oh, and I think I missed and then he takes that hit. I forgot to mark off the hit, too. Oh, boy. Just lovely. Well, now, when it comes to, and we can do it at the command step, command phase, we will check, we can go ahead and remove the marker here. So, or try to. Okay, so he did his action, he did his. So now we have a fight up here on Matsurabachi. So let's go ahead and should we do a reveal or a full attack? What is this? Still turn 1, isn't it? Yeah, we can probably just do a full reveal, can't we? Or, you know what I mean? Go after reconnaissance and force is what I'm trying to say here. So let's do reconnaissance and force. They will recon this unit here. Both of them will assist. Well, he'll do it, which is right here. And then he'll just, because he's adjacent, so that'll be +1 to the die roll. We want at least a 4. We want to roll a 4, so we get a 5 or higher. 6. Hang on a second. What's the reconnaissance for? 6. That's still only 1 hit. Okay. So we do reveal him, though. Boom. So we can see, just get an idea. 2 combat strength, type C, which is the weakest, trenches, which is nice. And then he has anti-tank. So, which could potentially, remember he has to roll that number or less, can negate our tank during a future assault. But no worries right now. Okay, I think that's it for attacks, though. Technically, he has an attack available, but looking at the odds and everything, yeah, I don't think so. Zero chance we're going to conduct that attack. Because what would that be? That would be potentially eliminating the tank. Probably not. So 2, 3, and then 4 from the artillery. Height difference is 1. Plus 3. What would that be? Oh, but 3 divided by 2 is only 1. 1 to 1 and roll a 3? I don't think so. Zero chance we're going to do that attack, guys. So I think we're going to call it there on that attack. I think we're done. So let's go ahead. Your attack phase is over. Oh, better leave that on there. I want to cheat now. All right, let's go to the command phase. US first. Now, check for rally. So I mentioned during the movement phases, you can do a rally, and that's against the organized or this is disorganized retreat or organized retreat markers. In this case, we have a disorganized retreat, so we're going to check for rally. We are going to roll our with a +1 DRM because it's in the command phase. So what do we need for that then? We need at least a 5. So we want to roll a 4 or higher. 4 or higher, we get +1. Or excuse me, 4 or higher, and we are successful and we get to remove it. A 2, +1 is 3, not enough. He stays disorganized for now. Now we can spend command point to remove it, but as of right now, he is still disorganized retreat. Okay, so now we determine our command points. We roll a die. We determine we get 3, 4, 5. 1 to 2 is 3. 3 to 4 is 4. 5 to 6 is 5. So we want at least a 5. At least a 5. At least a 5. A 2. That's only 3 command points. Let's see, what do we add? 1, 2, 3. I don't like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to spend our command marker that we do have here, and it gives us +2 command points. So instead of only 3, we're going to have 5. So it's as though we got a max roll. I was kind of hoping to have extra, but hey, I will take what we get. So set it aside. I don't think it goes back in the bag. I'll double check the rules. I think we just, oh no, I know what, yep, it goes, you set it near, because remember, the more command markers you use, at the end you check and you can lose your victory points as part of that. Anyway, 5 command points. Where can command points be used for? Simple. Reinforcements, which is you spend 1 command point, and this is a maximum. You recover 1 step from a unit. So we're going to do that here. So this flamethrower unit, we'll spend 1 on him. 1 on him. 2, 3. Total of 3. And then we'll send 1 on him as well. Well, wait a second. 3, 4. And then, well, do we want to bring in some reserves? Nah, let's spend the last 5th command point to remove this disorganized retreat marker. So now the 24th Regiment is ready to rock. Very nice. Okay, now we flip over to the Japanese half of the command phase. So now they conduct their command step, which is for each 1-step Japanese unit, which I see 1 right there. Dun, dun, dun. So remember, if they're hidden, they're 3 steps. We know that automatically. And then if they're first revealed, like the 309th over here, battalion near Matsurobachi, he has 2 steps. So 3 steps, 2 steps. He only has 1 right here, 145th. We go ahead and we roll a die. On a 1, they conduct a bonsai attack, even though there were no bonsai attacks in Iwo Jima, but something I'll address in my review. A 2 to 4, there's no effect. And a 5 to 6, they will actually gain a step. Now, I think on turns 8 to 9, or if I have more than 10 VP, they don't bonsai, maybe? Or they only bonsai on turns 8 through 9. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, let's roll. Let's just see what happens. We'll figure it out. A 2, so no effect. All right, well, good. 5 or 6, I didn't want them gaining a step. And then, but yeah, I think actually the bonsai is only turns 8 through 9 is when they can start bonsai. Okay, that's it for command step. Now we go to organization step. You advance a turn marker 1 box to the right. If there's anything in the box, you would then react to it. So if there was a U.S. unit there, if there was one of these command markers, you would put it in the bag automatically. There's nothing there, so we go to turn 2, February 23rd through 26th. And yeah, I'm looking at the game board right now. Remember, it was February, I think it was the morning of February 23rd when the Americans captured Matsurobachi. So in our, and then of course, you move your phase marker to weather, because now we would roll for weather at the start of turn 2, but we're not there yet. Just want to comment on the at the end of turn 1, looking at the strategic situation here, tactical situation. We have moved several regiments off the beach. We still have 2 on the beach. This Japanese unit is reduced pretty nicely. We want to get him finished off. So we get to 24th, maybe to assist there. Maybe a recon here, and we want to take Matsurobachi. That's kind of our main goal, though. So these 3 are focused on capturing Matsurobachi, so we're definitely going to do some bombardments when we get to the bombardment phase here. We're going to do bombardments and get some hits on these Japanese units, get them revealed, get them reduced, and we're going to get them eliminated, because by the end of, well, we have till the end of turn 3, which is February 27th through March 3rd, to gain the victory point for capturing it. So we will definitely do that. I've never failed to in any of my games. However, I kind of want to get historically, or at least as close to historically as possible. It's impossible to do it historically, but at least get as close to possible. So I'd like to do it by the end of this turn. So remember, we get first movement, first attack, second movement, second attack. So second turn, My goal is capture Mount Suribachi. Once we have that, we're going to leave an artillery up here, provide additional support and bombardment, and then everyone else, including our reserves, we're going to start getting them on the board, and we're going to start heading north and sweeping the Japanese off this island so we can use it, use the airfields, and have it for refueling point, for stop-off point for damaged planes, and to make sure that our bombers, our B-29s flying Japan, have escorts from fighters. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Turn 2, first phase, weather phase. Let's go ahead and roll for the weather. Roll 1d6. 1 to 2 is bad weather. 3 to 6 is good weather. 5, that's good weather. Perfect. I do like that. I think I prefer that. We kind of suffer a little bit more from poor weather versus the Japanese, which, yeah, makes sense. So, I mean, we're the ones that are on the move, right? We're not in all these defensive fortifications and positions. So, all right, move the phase along. So it'll be bombardment phase. We go first, of course. So U.S. has 9 bombardment points, and if we captured the airfield, no, airfield 1, the capture point is right here. Not captured yet. Airfield 2 is there. So we just have our base of 9. I think like the first turn, I think I'm going to do 3 points for each enemy on 3 different enemies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 on the 309th Battalion of the Japanese here, Mount Suribachi sector, the hidden one, and then also the 145th here. He's already reduced down to 1, so we can get a hit on him. That'd be pretty sweet. So, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to roll 1d6, 3 on each. That gives a +1. I do not have a U.S. artillery unit or U.S. unit with artillery support on a Japanese fixed artillery rotation or Mount Suribachi yet. Soon, hopefully, I will have this artillery unit. Oh, right there, have him maybe posted up here. So for now, we'll just get a +1 on our die roll. Let's target the 309th. And what do we want again? Should have it pop up for you guys, but I want at least a 5, so I need to roll a 4. Need to roll a 4. 4, beautiful. 4 becomes 5, that's 1 hit. So just reduce him. I'll take 1 hit away. So now he's down to only 1 step left. All right, the hidden unit. Again, we want to roll at least a 4 so we can get a hit on him. 1, there's a 2, no effect. And finally, on the 1-step Japanese unit here, the 145th Battalion right here. Come on, come on, come on. At least a 4, at least a 4. Boom, and we got our 4. So he is actually eliminated. Beautiful. All right. I like that now. So now our units here are free to come off the beach here, no problems. Be able to maybe move up and assist the 23rd, maybe attacking that unit there. Yeah, that could probably work out pretty well, huh? Okay, all right. So that was the U.S. bombardment, but now Japanese bombardment. Okay, so just like before, check to see how many bombardment points they have. They start with it's the number of fixed artillery positions that they control, and they haven't lost any yet. We hope they'll lose this turn, right, up here, but for now they still have them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they have 8 points to spend. They'll spend 1 on each unit, attacking the units closest to Mount Suribachi because they still control it. So it'll be basically using one point, attack, 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 and then any that aren't hit, they'll come back around and any points they have left, right? So just like turn 1. So let's start off. They're attacking the 28th Regiment and checking the chart for them. They have no bonuses because the only bonuses they would have when we have targets in landing beach, which, oh, they will have 2. I don't know why for some reason as I was looking at the chart, I was thinking in my head, we have everyone off the beach now, right? Nope, sure don't. 24th and 25th. Wonderful. But the 28th here, we're going to go ahead and check. So right up here. Let's roll. So no pluses. So they need, yep, just like us. So a 5 is a hit. So we want them to get a 4 or less for these. All right, that is a miss. So nothing happens to him. 27th. That's a miss as well. The 26th. Or ineffective, right? Also ineffective. Now we'll do the 24th with a +1. So if they roll 4 this time, that's a hit. 5 becomes a 6. That's 1 hit. And now I'll mark him to show that he has suffered a hit. And the 23rd, no pluses. 4, nothing. And now the 25th, +1, All right, nothing there. Perfect. So the only one that suffered a hit. So now we come back around, wrap around, right? They use 6 points. They have 2 left, so they'll attack the 28th and the 27th again. 28th. No effect. 27th. Oh, no effect. Perfect. That was a good one. We got, I'll say a little lucky. There was a couple times I thought for sure we are going to get him. So, beautiful. Yeah, only suffered the 1 on the 24th here, so I will take it. Rather than nothing, but hey, not too bad. All right, so done with the bombardment phase. So now we move on to the first movement phase. So for the first movement phase here, I'm thinking, so everyone here, the 28th, 27th, and 26th divisions, regiments over here by Mount Sirbachi, they're just going to stay there because they want to get some assaults on them and hopefully knock them out. But 23rd, he's kind of locked in there. He could pull away if he really needed to, but there's no reason to. We do want to capture airfield number 1 as well. So then I think we're going to do is get the 24th and 25th to move up in support from the 4th Division. They're all from the 4th Division here. So let's do this. 24th is going to go ahead and move. So he will go, that's 1. Remember, he has 6 to spend. So 1, 2, and boom, it's good to go. I'll stop there. Show that he moved. And now I think the 25th, yeah, he'll just go ahead and move right up too. So, and actually technically leaving the beach was another one. So technically it was 1, 2, 3, because leaving a beach hex, right? The landing beach hex counts as, or takes +1. So 1, 2, right? 1 for the clear terrain and then 1 for leaving the beach. 3 here to move right there. I'm not going to mark him because that's it for movement. So beautiful. All right, so we have all of our units kind of locked in where we want them to be. Not a whole lot of movement here, but it's kind of the way it was on the island anyway, right? Kind of a slow slog here. So, all right, now let's move on to the first attack phase. For the first attack phase, let's do this. I want the 24th Regiment here. I want him to do a recon. So we'll tag him with the situation marker here, showing either an assault or recon, right? With the recon. He's going to do a recon on the hidden Japanese unit, so reconnaissance and force. So we select a valid U.S. unit, which is him, adjacent to a Japanese hidden unit, which is him, and we are going to roll with a +2 DRM because he has 2 units adjacent. So very nice. So, oh, we need at least get a 5. Sorry, I was checking the chart. I got the decrease on the chart here. So we need to roll at least a 3. There's no way we can suffer a hit, thankfully, because of the help, the support, but we just need to roll at least a 3, and then we'll get our hit. So just need a 3. Or higher. 4, that'll do it. So we get our hit. Remember, that reveals Japanese unit. Let's go ahead and take a look at him. He is a, let's see, so he has 1 combat strength, the 145th Battalion here. He has 1 combat strength, which is nice, pretty weak. Type A, that is the better type. That is a caved defense. Although, nice thing is when we attack, and trust me, we're going to do launch an assault, our flamethrower, because there's a tank attacking as well, and he's in the cave, right? Flamethrowers are more effective on units in a cave with the A-type defense. So he's actually going to get 2 for support instead of just the 1, which is nice. And then his support is artillery 1, so not too strong either. So yeah, I think we're going to be able to inflict some damage on him. Well, I'm hoping anyway, right? So, which we might as well resolve that one instead of over here. So yeah, let's just finish this up and keep after the 145th here. So let's launch another attack on the 145th. What we'll do is the 23rd, we'll do a full assault with his flamethrowers combat support. The 25th, we'll do an assault with his tank as combat support. And then finally, the 24th here, he will use his artillery for the combat support. So we'll just go ahead and mark that there. Beautiful. Very nice. Okay. So first off, figure the combat ratio. It'll be 4 and 4. So it's 8 divided by 1. 8 to 1. Maxes out at 6 to 1 on the chart, as you guys can see. So 6 to 1. Now we figure our die roll modifiers. We have the 2 for tank, and he is not at a higher level. Nope. Same height. So he gets full 2. He is flamethrower, and because, as I mentioned before, he has a tank also supporting, and the Japanese unit is defense type A caves, his 1 becomes a 2, so 2 and 2 is 4, and then 2 artillery from the 24th, he's adjacent, so both count, so that becomes 6. Now minus 1 for their artillery, so that becomes 5, and their defense type is what is it, A I said, so that's -2, so that becomes +3, but we're down to a +3, but also we're doing a flanking attack, because the 23rd and 25th have at least 1 hex between them while they're assaulting the 145th, so it's back to a +4. Complicated enough for you? You get a little used to it. Again, I'll talk about it more in my review. But anyway, so +4. So 6 to 1 with a +4. We're guaranteed to inflict, let me see. I think we're guaranteed to eliminate him. Let's see. Yep, that's a 6. That is D3, which means he comes for 3 hits. So even if he had been a hidden unit, he would have been eliminated. So he is eliminated as is. Beautiful. Which that's another set of Japanese units that gives us 2 victory points. Now we can advance after combat with one of the 2 units involved in the assault. We'll go ahead and do the 23rd right here. He will advance, which means he captures the airfield number 1, which now next turn will give us an additional 2 bombardment points. But we can go ahead and put, because we captured them within turns 1 through 4, we'll put the +1 to show +1 victory point for capturing the airfield. And we'll move our victory points up to 3. And move that with him. Beautiful. Ooh, that's pretty slick. That worked out pretty well. Okay, what do you think we should do? You think we should attack over here? Yeah, I think so too. So, let's do this. We'll do that. Shoot. Wish he was revealed, but that wouldn't help anybody. You know what? Let's just do a full attack on him, even though he's only got one left. 1 step. What if he attacked by himself and he supported and he did a recon? What do you think, guys? Do you think that would work? 4, 2, so that would be 2 to 1. And he would have a 1 versus, he'd have 0 versus 1. But he's higher. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I'm not going to fool around. Let's do this. Let's just do this. Let's do full assault with support and assault with support. Both the 28th and 27th will attack the 309th, assaulting with support. And then the 26th here, he will provide combat support with his artillery. Okay. So let's go ahead and figure combat ratios. It'll be 4 and 4 is 8 divided by 2, so 4 to 1 odds. And the die roll modifiers will be, he is flamethrower, type C though, not type A, so it's only 1, with a tank, so that's 1 and 2, so that's a total of 3 there. And then artillery here is, because he's more than 1 hex away, it's only a 1, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so +4 DRMs. He is type C bunker, so that's -1, so it becomes a +3. And then he is at a higher altitude, so the +3 becomes a +2, or higher elevation, I should say, not altitude. And then he's going to roll for his anti-tank to see if the anti-tank eliminates his tank. So right now we're at a +2. He will roll. If he gets a 1 or less, it'll be a straight die roll. All right, 5, so it is not. So it is a +2, I believe, was what I figured there. Yeah, so we'll 4 to 1 with a +2. Let's see what happens. So 4 with +2 becomes 6 with 4 to 1, and that is D2. So defender suffers 2 hits. He only had 1 step left, so he is eliminated. Beautiful. And we will have the... we'll have the flamethrower. Which we do. Yeah, let's have the flamethrower. Flamethrower unit will advance after combat. Yeah, not bad. Okay. All right. So the only unit we would have left that could do any sort of assault or recon is 26, but he's not adjacent to any Japanese units, therefore he can't do any attacks. Therefore, the attack phase is over. We will go on to the Japanese raid phase. Oh boy. Here we go. All right, raid phase. So roll a die for each U.S. unit adjacent to a Japanese unit or 2 hexes away, so within 2 hexes. The 28th and 27th are both adjacent to this hidden Japanese unit. So when I roll, they will have a... Is it any modifiers? No, it is not, because there's not 2 of them. In fact, nobody's going to have a plus modifier against them, which is good. And then these units here will actually have a -1, but these two, and then the same thing here. But these two will have a straight die roll, so let's start with 28th. Roll on the chart here. A 4 or 5 is 1 hit, and a 6 is 2 hits. All right, that is a hit. Really unfortunate there. And on him, no hit. And for him, this will be a -1. Oh, 4, that's still a hit though. All right, bummer. And then for the 23rd, he has it'll be -1, so it's 2 hexes away. Nothing. 25th, 2 hexes away. Oh, a 6, but it's a -1. What's that put it at? Oh, thankfully it's only 1 hit, or else it would have been 2. So because of the -1. And that's it. The 24th is not within 2 hexes of any Japanese unit, so he does not suffer any raid during the raid phase. Okay. All right, let's move on to second movement phase. All right, and then I forgot to mention again the first movement phase, but it doesn't matter because none of my units have it, but technically there would be a rally first as before you move. If any of your units have, right, the organized retreat or disorganized retreat markers, you would rally for them. But none of my guys have them, so I'm not worried about it right now. All right, regular movement. I'm not seeing a ton of movement we can, well, actually, it's not true at all. Right here, I guess I was thinking is like, these guys are pretty good. They're just going to launch their attack and go from there. But I can see that right here, I think they're going to move up there. I think 23rd, 24th, 25th are going to kind of move up to assault this Japanese unit, and then they'll work their way up on the western side of the island through the western sector. And then after Mount Suribachi's captured, I think I'll have any units that continue on, which should be the 28th and 27th, and then I'll get some reinforcements, right, from the 3rd Division here, the 9th and 21st, get them landed, and then I'll get them moved up, and they can assist coming up on the east side of the island, or southern sector, as the map calls it here. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think that'll work. Okay, so for movement-wise, we really don't need to worry about these guys here. Like, he can... There's no benefit to him moving, but I suppose I can just move him up here. All right, there we go. Moved him. No change in anything. And then right here, though, we definitely want to get some movement done. So let's do this. Let's do... want the tank unit here. 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 clear, and then this is difficult terrain, which is 2, takes 2. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Boom. Everyone has moved up, and yeah, let's go ahead. Second movement. Boom. Let's go into the second attack phase and get some damage done here. All right, so let's do this one first. What should we do? And I should have actually had the flamethrower on the outside. That's okay. It's too late now. I'm not going to backtrack anything. But here's what we'll do. The flamethrower unit, so the 23rd, he's going to conduct a recon with a +2. So we'll go ahead and mark him as... I guess he could still provide the combat support, so that's okay. It doesn't work. It's fine either way. You know what? I got myself all stressed out for nothing. Okay, so he'll do a reconnaissance and force against a hidden Japanese unit. He has a +2 because of the 2 adjacent American units. So, we get at least, if we roll with a +2, as long as we roll a 3, we're going to get our hit on him to reveal him. So at least a 3. 6. Unfortunately, I wish it was more, if, higher than that, I wish it was more hits, but you just get 1 with a reconnaissance. So, we get our hit on him, and we reveal him. What is he? Ooh. 311th. He has a 1 strength with B type, which is bunker, which is -1. And he has a 2 strength support from tank unit. Okay. Okay, we can handle that. We can handle that. All right, let's go ahead and launch our assault on him then. So we'll do full assault and support from the 24th, full assault and support from the 25th, and we'll 23rd will provide his flamethrower's combat support. So we figure our combat odds, right? Our combat ratio, 4 and 4 is 8, divided by 1 is 8 to 1, maxes out at 6 to 1, right? And then 6 to 1, so let's figure our DRMs now. 2 for artillery, he's adjacent, so that's 2. 2 from tank, he is same height. Actually, I think we're considered higher than them, but for the purposes of the game, when we're higher, I don't think it helps us at all. I think it only helps them. No, wonderful. So what was it? 2, 4, and then the flamethrower is going to be +1 because he's a type B, not a type A. So 4, 5, so total +5. And then he has the 2 for the tank, so that takes away, right? 5 minus 2 is 3, so +3. So 6 to 1 with a +3. Goodbye. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on 6 to 1 is D3. So he takes 3 hits. He only had 2 steps, so he is eliminated. It's also another pair Japanese units, which means up to 4 victory points. Not too shabby. I like that. And then advance after combat. Yeah, we might as well go ahead and advance the... Oh, no, he was not an assaulter. He was just providing combat support, so that's been one of the... He was assaulting. We'll get our artillery here to move up. Very nice. I like that. Okay. Like I said, they're going to kind of sweep this way, right? Head up the western edge and work their way. So let's get right here. Let's go ahead and try to finish capturing Mount Suribachi here. So we're just going to go ahead and launch an assault, I think. I know, I wish he was still 4. I wish a lot of things. I wish he was revealed. We're just going to have to deal with it as is. Or should we try to... Oh, gosh. What do you guys think? Or should we do a recon and force this turn, and then next turn around, just try to eliminate him? How much time do we have? We're on turn 2. We'll be going to turn 3. And we definitely will eliminate him at that point, and we'll definitely capture it. Now we're going to do an assault on an unrevealed unit. I don't care. We're committing. Okay, so full assault from the 28th with support from his flamethrower. Full assault from the 27th with support from his tank. And we will get support, not assault, just support on the assault from the artillery from the 26th here. All right, since he is still hidden, we have to draw 2 chits. We'll draw a chit first off to see what he is for his, this is defense or support marker, so check what his defense numbers are. 3. Oh boy, yeah, I should have just done a recon. My bad. Oh well. Days, that really stinks. It's gonna be 2 to 1 odds. He is 3, type A. Jeez. Oh, and then you check for his combat support here, which is 1 of everything. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh boy. All right. Well, okay. So let's just work our way through this. So, first off, 4, 5, 6, 7 divided by 3 is, whatever, 2, 2.5, whatever, drops to 2 to 1, right? Yeah, 2 to 1. So you drop the remainder, so 2 to 1 is the ratio. Check our DRMs. We have 1. Actually, wait a second. With a type A, we actually have a +2 from him. So +2, +1 because he's at range, and +2. So that's 4, 5. They have, and we're all at the same. We're at the same altitude actually. So or elevation. So no bonus for them there. But they do have potential anti-tanks. They got to roll. If they roll a 1, it cancels out our 2 tank. 6 didn't help them. So 1 tank and 1 artillery. So what did I say I have? 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus the 1 for their artillery. That's +4. Minus 1 for their tank. That's +3. And then type A is -2. So then we have a +1, right? So 2 to 1 with a +1. 2 to 1 with a +1. Yeah, we need to roll high. Are you kidding me? So 2 to 1 with a +1 becomes a 2. That's A1. So attacker suffers a loss. Defender suffers no losses whatsoever. So we suffer a loss. We can pick who, or we can do a... we can see if we want to... So I'll assign it to the 27th. But then... let's see. Let's roll a die roll modifier. And let's see what the number is. If it's 2 or higher... Well, let's just see. A 1. A 1. Yeah, he suffers disorganized retreat. Jeez. Yeah, so he has to retreat 2 hexes. So you retreat. 2. So he has disorganized retreat on him as well. Okay. Okay, anyway, sorry, I was having a little mind. I was just like thinking here. I'm like, dang it, that really should have done the recon. Why was I thinking, guys? Okay, so here's what happens now. So we leave the support on him. So what happens is, I mean, we were done with our attacks, right? The support marker goes back in the bag for the Japanese unit, but we do leave the defense marker. So that kind of just, it's sort of like we've revealed what he is so far. So we do leave this on him. It doesn't count as like its own hit or anything, or separate like to hit or step. But so when we do inflict a step hit on him, this will be, and we'll flip it over. But for now, this is kind of what we're seeing. So this is kind of what we look at. So then we wrap up our attack, and then so we remove our situation markers from everybody. And the only thing that stays is these disorganized retreat marker that stays on the 27th to show that he is scaredy cat and got knocked back from that combat on the mountain. That was basically worst case scenario. Not only did we not reveal him, and then what we drew was really tough, but then we rolled a 1. So yeah, pretty much worst case scenario on that. So, okay, that is it for U.S. second attack phase. So now we go to the command phase. U.S. command phase first, we get to rally. We do have the 1 unit now with just organized retreat, the 27th. So we roll to rally. Because it's command phase, we get a +1. So we just need to roll a 4, because then it'll give us a 5. A 3, which is not what we needed. I said we needed a 4. I said a 4, not a 3. So 3 with a +1 becomes 4. Still failed, so he stays disorganized. Wonderful. Now we check for our command points, and we can spend them. So we roll to see if accruing them. I want to roll at least a 5 or 6, or at least a 5. Then we get 5 command points. A 4. I guess we'll take 4 command points. The dice are listening to me. Well, if you guys are watching my playthrough videos, you guys know they never listen to me. So, okay, that's 4 command points. So with our 4 command points, let's spend 1 to get rid of this organized retreat marker automatically. So now we're down to 3 command points. Let's get him fully. Or what did I have him on? Yeah, so he would be here, right here. To show that used 1 on him. We have 2 left. Because he's going to move up and help. So they're kind of good there. I suppose these 2, huh? And then we're going to want to get some reinforcements, but we don't really need them right now. So let's do this. So our last 2, we'll do on both of these. Boom and boom. Reinforcements for them. That'll be good. Okay. All right, everyone has been reinforced. That's all of our command points. Now we go to the Japanese command step, which is roll a die for each 1-step Japanese unit on the map. All full steps, and same with him, actually, because he's also still technically on his hidden side, right? So no, Japanese take no command steps. So we go to the organization phase, which is we advance a game turn marker from turn 2, February 23rd through 26th, to turn 3, February 27th through March 2nd. Last turn now to be able to capture Mount Suribachi and get the bonus victory point. And there was a command marker here, so we flip it over. +1 on artillery support. I mean, we put it right here to show that, hey, we can use this potentially if we want to give ourselves a bonus on the bonus artillery support, which the way this game's going, we may probably want to use it to try to capture Mount Suribachi. So, but yeah, we'll see on that. So then we go back around, and it is the weather phase, turn 3, and yeah, let's see what happens. All right, turn 3, first phase, weather phase. Let's roll for the weather. I think we still want good weather. So 3 to 6 is good weather. We don't want a 1 or 2. 4. I thought maybe I'd jinx myself by saying we don't want a 1 or 2, but maybe by talking about a 1 and 2, that's why I didn't go to that. So whatever. So it stays on good weather, nice clear weather for us. That'll help us a lot because let's go to the bombardment phase. Aha. So 9 bombardment points as the base, right? But wait, remember we captured airfield number 1. That's worth an additional 2. So now we actually have 11. I said 10. Oh, I can't do math, but I think we have 10 or 11. It's 11. All right, so what should we do with those 11? Well, I'll tell you definitely what we're going to do. We're going to freaking attack this guy with all 3, with 3 of them, for the +1. In addition to that, well, our guys are probably moving up attacking him, so we're going to target him for 3. And then maybe we'll do, what would that be? Him for 3, him for 3. And then let's do 3, and then maybe 1 or something like that. So yeah, let's just figure it out from there. So where is bombardment points? What did I say we have? 9, 10, 11. We have 11, so I'll put it right there. All right, let's target him from bombardment. 1, 2, there was 3, so we're marked down to 8. Let's keep track of it myself. This is my own cube, by the way. The cube didn't come with the game. I just grabbed my own blue cube. All right, spending 3 on him, so let's go ahead and roll. So 3 gives us, remember, a +1. And we don't have artillery on. For some reason I thought we had artillery on there, but we don't. So just the +1. We need to roll at least a 4. Then a 5+ is a hit. So we're at least a 4. Oh, thought it was gonna be a 1. All right, we do get a hit, so we can put that defense marker back in here, and we flip him over and reveal him. Oh, he ain't that tough after all. I mean, he's not that weak, but 2 strength, A-type, which is the caves. That's a -2. Makes sense. He's in the caves of the mountain here. But no support, no combat support. So, yeah, that's going to help us big time when we attack him here shortly. So, all right. Let's spend 3 to bombard him. 2, 3. Brings us down to 5. With a +1. I need at least a 4. Need at least a 4. Hey, that'll do. Okay. 1 strength, B-type, which is the +1. And he has anti-tank possibility of 1. Okay. And let's spend 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll spend 3 and do it on him. Bombard on him. So only do 1 bombardment on each. Yeah, that's a hit. You can't sit there and bombard the same unit over and over. I know, I wish you could, or else I'd get rid of him. 1 strength, A-type, which is -2 for caves, right? And 1 strength artillery. Okay, okay. I see you. And then we have 2 points left. So we'll spend those last 2 points, and that will give us a 0. So no pluses, just a 0. And let's go ahead and target. Let's target him right here just to work on that. 5. Still got a hit. Oh, that was really good bombardment phase for us. Really good bombardment phase. Very nice. 1 strength, A-type, which is the strong type. And 2 for anti-tank. Oh, it's a marine unit. They're 125th. See the marine unit icon there. So, okay, that's it for U.S. bombardment. Now the Japanese bombardment. They did lose one of their fixed locations, so instead of having 8, they only have 7 points to spend. So they'll target each of our units, and they still though control Monster Bachi. So they're gonna go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it'll wrap back around, assuming not everyone suffered a hit, which they better not. Okay, any bonuses for them? Nope, only if anyone's in a landing beach, which no one is. So it'll be just straight die rolls. So targeting him, and they get a hit on a 5. So we want 4s or lesses. Beautiful. A 6. No pluses, all right. Yeah, that's 1 hit. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Whatever. And then, let me mark him just to show he did get a hit on him. So I'll come around and try to get a second hit on him. All right, on the 27th. Okay, also hit. Not good. On the 24th. Okay, also a hit. Just, it's wonderful. There, boys. 23rd. Also a hit. And the 25th. Come on. Oh, it's I have to laugh or else I'd cry. That's a hit. Okay. So they'll come back around now because what did I say? They have 7 points, right? Yep. They would originally have 8, but they lost 1 position right here. So they have 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So they come back around, and the 28th is the only one not hit, so they're gonna try again. And a 1. It's the only one they missed, which I'm really appreciative of. But yeah, wonderful. Thanks a lot. So that is it for the bombardment phase for both sides. We move on to the U.S. and general first movement phase. All right. Rally. Remember, I always talk about it. I never mention it right away. But what do you know? No one needs to rally. No one needs to get rid of a retreat marker. So we're good. So we'll skip that. So let's do our actual movement. 6 movement points each. And let's see. Oh, well, here's what we're gonna do. Of course, I don't know what I'm thinking here. I'm questioning it. 27th tank with the tank supports. Gonna move up 1, 2, 3, 4. Because that next phase, attack phase, they will be launching a sustained attack at 310th. They will defeat him. Let's get the 25th moving. 1, 2. '23rd. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, the 24th. 1, 2. Now everyone's locked in here. We're going to have a nice little assault on the 310th. And we have a nice assault on the 310th. Hey, they're both the exact same number. 109th, 310th. What is it? Their battalion. 109th, 310th battalion. Huh, interesting. I don't know if that's a mistake or if they're just part of the same battalion, I guess. I don't know. Interesting. I thought every unit would have a different... They all do have different other numbers on here. 39th, 311th. Yeah, look, 39th, 311th. With the 109, 309th. Oh, no, here's another 309th, so... Must just be... Some of them are just separated, like split battalion style. No big deal. Just checking. Okay. All right. That's it for movement phase. Let's go on to our attack phase, and let's go ahead and capture Mount Suribachi. First attack phase. Let's launch our first attack against this unit of 310th right here. Surrounded by the 24th, 23rd, and 25th. Full assault. He's a type B, so the flamethrower won't help him. So it'll be assault, and then he will provide combat support from the flamethrower. So let's figure combat odds. 4 and 4 is 8, divided by 1, 8 to 1, drops down to 6 to 1. DRMs, he's adjacent with his artillery, that's 2. Flamethrower, adjacent, and that's 1, because he's type B, remember. And then tank with 2. However, he has a 1, so let's see what happens if he is able to... The Japanese unit rolls a 1, he negates our tank. And he didn't. Okay, perfect. So, we get 2, 3, 4, 5. We are attacking uphill, so that drops to a +4, and he's type B with a -1, so that drops to a +3. But it is 6 to 1 with a +3, so we are guaranteed to whoop butt. Actually, in a +4, technically, because we're also flanking. So, 9, which 7 or more on 6 to 1, is D3, takes 3 hits, so he is eliminated. Beautiful. And we can advance after combat. Let's go ahead and move up the 25th. He will advance. Very nice. Ha ha ha. All right. Well, now though, now's the chest over here. Oh, I'm getting nervous thinking about it. Let's assault. So, the 28th. Oh gosh, he's going to do a full assault with his support on 310th here. 27th also will join him, and the 26th will provide their artillery support. Combat support. All right. DRMs, or excuse me, combat ratio. So 4 and 4 is 8 divided by 2, so 4 to 1 odds. We have a 2 tank. Flamethrower is a 2 because he is type A defender with the combined with the tank and flamethrower, right? Remember? Classic. So 2 is 4. Artillery, because of the distance, he's reduced to 1. So that's a total of 5. The enemy has an A, that's -2, so it becomes to +3. Plus, is he higher? He's not. It's the same height. I believe it's the same height. Sure looks like it. Same terrain, so it's the same height. So +3, right? So we got 4 to 1 with a +3. What do we need? 4 to 1. We need 2 hits on him to completely eliminate him. 4 to 1, +3. Oh, we need to roll at least a 3. I mean, I'd like to get a 3. Please get a 3 or higher. Oh, looked like it was gonna be a 1. So 8 with 4 to 1. That is D2, 2 hits, 1, 2. He is eliminated, and that earns us a victory point there. Go to 5. Beautiful. We can go ahead and move our. Let's just go ahead and advance this flamethrower unit over, capturing this other artillery position. So now during our second movement, we'll be able to move our artillery up onto Mount Suribachi right here and capture it within turn 3. Whew. So that's it for the first attack, isn't it? Yeah. Beautiful. Not too bad at all. Okay, let's move on from his first attack, and let's go to the Japanese raid phase. Japanese raid phase. None of our units here on the southern part of the island, Matsurabachi sector, are going to suffer any raids. However, we have the 24th and 25th will both at least suffer rolls for raid. Both of them are at least one away. And is he close? Nope. Yep. So it's just going to be the 24th and 25th. So one away. That's a -1 on the die roll. They have to, yeah, 4. We want a 4 or less. 4 or less, otherwise we're going to get hits. So on him, beautiful. Actually, it says 1 Japanese hit. 1 Japanese hit on the raid. Oh yeah, I guess it would be from him. So actually, he takes a hit. Beautiful. I don't think I realized that. All right, so then how about I guess him from here, I suppose. So with a -1 for the distance, a 5 comes a 4. Oh shoot, that's a hit. Ah, dang it. Oh, he takes a hit then. Balances out a little bit. All right, and that's it for, well, it's it for the Japanese raid, so not too bad. Not too bad at all. Move on to second movement phase. And movements, here's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and move artillery here. Oops, he was reduced. I don't want to forget that. 26th Regiment, 1, 2. And then it's, I think it's, what is it, 3 from Matsurabachi? Hang on, let me check the chart here. 3. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uses up the rest of his movement. He captures Matsurabachi. Raises the flag in this ceremony. What a beautiful sight. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous sight. We capture it. So I put it on that side with the +1, just like with the airfield, we capture it within 3 turns. So we get +1, so now we go up to 6 victory points. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Mark him off as moved. Now what we're going to do is something that I haven't done yet because it hasn't made sense to. We're going to do strategic movement. Oh, Wayne, you haven't talked about that yet. Well, geez, good thing you stayed and watched, huh? So strategic movement is basically a U.S. unit that's not in a zone of control and doesn't have a disorganized retreat marker can move 2+ hexes away. So, right, so say this unit would be 1, 2, so say within 2, right? And that's just their movement. And then you do mark them, though, as having performed, you mark them with, like, the assault or recon to show that, hey, they can still provide support, but it does show they can't conduct a regular attack because they spend too much time on their movement, right? Because otherwise, none of these units, and I'm going to move both of these, by the way, this is what I'm getting at, over here to get up on this line here. Because even the tank here with the 6 movement, well, it's the same movement regardless, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'll gain 1, and he'll gain a couple hexes. He'll gain 1 hex, he'll gain a couple hexes. So what do I mean by that? Very simple. So the 27th will activate for strategic movement. Again, he can move anywhere he wants as long as it's, tracing a path and he doesn't enter a zone of control is basically what it's saying. So, and he will go ahead and stop right here. Should I move him there? Yeah, that'll be fine. Should work. And same thing with the 28th here. He'll go ahead and move, and we'll just have him move right there. Boom. Beautiful. So that is both of these conducted strategic movement, which, like I said before, we do have to mark then to show that, hey, they can't. Now, they wouldn't be able to attack anyway because, it's kind of funny that it's like they can't move within a zone of control, but then you do mark them. But does it matter you mark them like this because they're not adjacent because they can't conduct any attacks? I don't know. That's what the rules say. We're following the rules as written. They're decent, not perfect. They're okay. I'll talk about more in my review. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do regular movement here now. So let's go ahead and move. Artillery, tank. I guess I wish he wasn't. And they hit on him, but that's okay. It is what it is. So let's do it like this. Let's do... One, 2, 3, 4. One. And 1, 2, 3. There we go. think that'll do it, right? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. That's it for second movement phase. Now we go on to second attack phase. Second attack phase. What they're going to do is this, the 23rd, is going to conduct a recon in force against the hidden Japanese unit here. So no bonus die rolls at all, because it's just him. And then I was double checking quick, and yeah, that's it. So we want at least, we want to roll 5. 1 is not good, so we want at least a 5. 3, no effect. Wonderful. Oh, and let's go ahead and mark him off as conducting a sensitive force. And then there can't be any combats down here, obviously. He's good over here. So then we'll have a assault with full combat support from all the units. And here, and he'll provide his combat support as well, because I would avoid it normally and actually use this artillery up here, because he's on the Mount Suribachi, his tube would become a 1. Well, I may have to double check on that. All I know for sure he can help with the bombardment. He's going to provide a +1 on that. So anyway, okay, what I'm saying is for sure just going to conduct an assault on here anyway. So figure out the combat ratio, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1. 7 divided by 1, 7 to 1, drops to 6 to 1. DRMs is going to be 2 for artillery, or 2 for tank, excuse me. Same level. 2 for artillery, that's adjacent, that's 4. And then flamethrower, because he's type A and there's a tank attacking, he becomes 2. So 2, 4, 6. Defender is type A, -2, so that becomes +4. And he's artillery of 1, so that becomes +3. So 6 to 1 with a +3, he will be annihilated. Yep, with an 8, 7 or more, 6 to 1, that is 3 hits. So he only had 1 step left. Oh, annihilated. It really did annihilate him. And we get an advance after combat. We'll go ahead and move up the tank unit here. All right, and that's it for our second attack. So we'll go on to the command phase. All right, U.S. command phase. A rally, if anyone needed it. Nobody has a retreat marker, so no need. Now we do our command points. So we roll, earn them, and then spend them. Oh boy, really want a high roll. I really need some command points here, so please, 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 I want at least a 5. 6, well, 5 or 6. 5 or 6 is 5 command points. Nice. Mark it off with my little cube. 5 command points, very nice. Let's do this. Let's reinforcements, 1. Oops. Make sure that we can't do too much now. I don't want to cheat here. 1. Let's do 2, 3. Each of them full strength. Oh, and I know what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna call in the reserves that are floating off the island. Yeah, we're gonna need you boys from the 3rd Division, 9th and 21st. Yeah, we're spending our last 2. That's all of our points. To land them on the beaches, we need you boys. Get up here, get up here. So we roll randomly to determine where they land. There's some trouble with the landing still from the Japanese, so it's not as organized, so we don't get to pick exactly where else. Obviously, I'd probably just pick right here, right? So there, and then 4. Oh, that is, roll the same one, so I think you reroll. Guessing? I don't know where I get to pick. I don't know. But we'll just have them land. Boom, 5. Next to him instead. There you go. 9th and 21st have landed. That's it for U.S. command phase. Resolve command step for Japanese. Roll die for each 1-step Japanese unit. He has 2 steps. The only one revealed is him, but he has 2 steps still, so no die. What would happen is if you rolled a 1, it'd be a bonsai. 2 to 4, no effect. 5 to 6, Japanese unit would gain a step. So, and that is it for the command phase. We go on to the organization phase. Advance a game turn marker from turn 3 to turn 4, March 3rd through 6th. Wow, so we've completed 3 turns. So what, 1/3 of the game. Yep, so 3, 3, 3. So we've completed 1/3 of the game. We can go ahead and move this on over to weather phase for the turn 4. So let's just do a little, strategic examination here of what we're looking at. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these bad boys here since we spent our command points, all that. We are at 6 victory points through the first 3 turns completed. If we keep up that ratio and that pace, and I'm not saying we will, but if we kept up that, or would, but if we kept up that pace, right, through the third, multiply by 3, so we'd have 18 victory points. 18 victory points would put us at the second to highest. Undoubtedly, it has been an overwhelming victory. Your career trajectory to the Joint Chiefs of Staff seems assured. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. If we get to 19, plus an incredible victory at a minimal cost of American lives, your name will be remembered as a hero of our nation. So we're on pace for really, now, is it going to happen? I don't know. So, for instance, looking at a couple things here. If we capture, so we have airfield number 2. We'd have 4th turn and 5th turn to capture it. Doable? I'd say it's doable. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think it is doable. These 4 units are going to have to move up and eliminate these 3. These 3 units are going to have to eliminate these 2, so VARs, right? So our 4 Marine regiments here and these 3 Marine regiments here. You have to move clear away to capture the airfield number 2. And then I'm trying to think, obviously then that'll be eliminating multiple units, right? So that'll put us at, that's for every 2 is worth 1 VP, right? So 1, 2, and then he will join that one. So 3. 1, 2, 3. And then if we capture the airfield, that puts us at 10. So then it's a lot of kind of capturing some, or eliminating some other Japanese units. I'm trying to look at them. I swear I'm not trying to cheat. So if we capture the airfield number 3, that's worth a bonus victory point. So if you look, there is 2 more. So there's airfield 2 and airfield 3 give bonus VPs. So those 2, and then there is a bonus for, if you get, for every 2 Japanese units eliminated, plus 1. Actually, yep, we got that. First airfield, yep. Second airfield, well, we're working on it. Third airfield, we want it. Clear the island of all Japanese units for the 9th turn. Oh, well, maybe. And then 5 or more U.S. units with 1 or 2 steps at the end of the game. -1. No. 9 turn, control 4 key objectives. And no more than 5 Japanese units will die. Blah, blah, blah. So close. So it's going to be, I would say it's going to be close on the higher end sort of victory. We're likely probably going to get at least 15 to 16. You've obtained a victory at a great cost, but you're on the right track. I don't know about 17, 18. That's pretty tough to get. Trust me. Played this game a few times now. But this is where I'm going to end this video. If you haven't been picking up on the hints here. Am I going to do a part 2? Probably not. I think you guys get a good idea how the game works. You better anyway at this point. If you don't get it, then you're not going to learn it. Sorry. You should be able to grok it at this point. So I have my recon video, this playthrough. And then I have a review video coming. I do have a lot of things to say about this game, both good, positive, and negative. I have some criticisms. I have some real criticism, but I also have a lot of positive things to say from Iwo Jima, Hell on Earth, from Neva Wargames. First game they released, along with, I think there's some sort of ocean sailing one I have no interest in. A 2-player game, too, that they've also released at the same time. So you guys should see this one. You've seen one in action now. You've run through 3 full turns. You've seen my Marines. They're landed. Well, they start off landed. Capture Mount Surbachi, moving north on the island from up the western sector, up the east/southern sector, moving up, trying to capture these points, earning some victory points. You see how the combat works. A little convoluted on the assaults with determining DRMs. I played it enough now I can get it done reasonably fast, but my first couple games, oh my god, it dragged on sometimes. So, but anyway, you guys saw it in action. I think it should be good enough for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. If you did, I'd love to think I earned your subscription. I put a lot of work into my videos, and I'm proud of them. So you have to watch all of them to watch the ones that interest you, but subscription's free. I promise I won't charge anything. So click the subscribe button, and also thumbs up, and of course, comment on the video. That's also very important. So let me know what you guys think of this game, think of my video, and if you're interested in it, and if you're just looking forward to my review. But until next time, everybody, later.